Yeah, just say welcome back to the show, podcast, whatever you want to call it. Leo Umesh, nimefurahia sana manze umerudi. Nimekuwa missing mbaya. Karibu.
Nashukuru
Na
papa.
tuko na coach Collo, mdozi wa Cheza Sports Academy. Collo, asante kwa kukam.
Shukran kwa karibisha.
Na I think when msemo interesting sana. Unajua most of the time tukiwa na coach kwa hii show, inakuwa tu vita from the onset. Oh, nini sijui ma player nini, but for you from the conversations we've been having hapo nje, you're a bit different. Ulimention ulikuwa Germany, nataka tuanzie hapo hivyo. Ulimention culture ya ball, very different to here. Ulisema ulikuwa pale RB mazee, unaona mashosho ground na shanga kwa nini. Hebu tueleze what did you see? What was your experience like?
So, Germany, wao wana league football in that hawakopi. The interesting thing, sisi football tuna live ni ya kukopi. So, uko university, seme University of Leipzig, areas of research are always coming up. That's your game. Like, see ati hapa KU na yende ati Department of Sports Science na ni kama tu ni general, yani watu wenye hata wamekaa kusoma hiyo course ni kama walilanda hapo na job bahati mbaya. Mimi naona wanafanya sport. Nilikuwa naona some students wanatupanga masahani. Hiyo ni sport na inasomewa. Ukiangalia issues to do with hata tu wacha tu nikupetwa a simple example. Hao watu waliwacha ku nini? Waliwacha ku warm down. Scientifically it has already been researched, wamefanya warm down has no effect. They only do recovery. Na mtu anajifanyia mjuu unashanga tizi inaisha. Niko pale Arabia. Nikakimbia kwa ule nani? Kwa huyo S&C, strength and conditioning. Players wanatoka tu kwa kiwanja man. Wanaenda home. We no longer do
Warm down.
So, ukiangalia interestingly hiyo ni researched football. And like kila kitu ni mipangilio. Study ni story ingine, unajua hiyo ni match the experience. Kuna ma professional. Unapata ile club kama RB Leipzig, kuna watu wenye wanafanya kazi RB Leipzig lakini hawajuani. Ni kama tu kufanya kazi kwa serikali ama kanjo hivi no. You'll not know everybody. There are too many. Mtu wa study ni wa study. Pale study wa merchandise, pale merchandise shop ni wa merchandise shop. Kuna stories za merchandise shop tofauti. So unajua hapa Collo, maybe utapata Collo Cheza Sports. Mzazi anampigia, jazi imetoka. Mzazi kocha anamuuliza like tuna train nini? So unaona hiyo ku mix abilities za vitu ndio zina affect kind of productivity. Unaona, of course you're wanasemanga a jack of all trade, a master of none. So
Yes,
hizo circumstances ndio major difference in terms of how we do things. Just on the bare minimum naweza kuambia tu hiyo ndio mimi niliobserve.
Unajua pia huko nje ulikuwa unasema when you have a child, or rather what I understood from my conversation with you, when you have a child who's young and you're born in Leipzig, you live in Leipzig, and you're trying to explain to this kid why we support this team. When you pick this kid up and take them to the stadium at that young age and they're able to see businesses, anaona bouncing castle, kuna msema ameleta bouncing castle anaweza cheza, kuna wengine ameleta food anauza tunabuy, kuna mamama pia hapo wana run program yao. This kid is able to understand from a young age football is a business and it's a business that can pay. You can sustain yourself from this. Uli mention pale Leipzig kama anaenda kucheza game. Si kama sisi ati tunaenda kuona game ya Gor na FC pale Nyayo. We don't care about anything. We are only coming at 3 when it's time to kick off. Huko Germany ulisema manze town ina shut down bana. Everything your day is about that game. It's about the team.
Yeah, the experience hata unaweza kuja game like I'll tell you an example. Hata chacha nisitumia hata RB games za Euros. Watu walikuwa wanachanga mtaa bana mtaa yako leo France versus Netherlands ilicheza Leipzig. So of course sisi tunafanya tuko kwa stadium experience. Like sisi siezi of course singe afford ticket ati ninunue 700 euros ticket ya kuwatch games ndio. But kuna pale hata stadium ile big screen somewhere. Mtawatch football bado.
Ubuy to drink uko ndani.
Kuna a lot of experience. So wao hata before hata mtoto aanze kukuja ball. Hiyo club kama hiyo RB ya hiyo mtaa, club inakuja hadi kwa mashule, inawafanyanga hata birthday yako. Imagine wewe birthday gift, mtoto wa miaka 5 amepata birthday gift yenye iko na merchandise ya RB, not really merchandise nini, wanakuleta tu ile nini ya mascot. Ile walikuwa anaitwa Gabuli, alafu umepewa ka picha ya maplayer. No, like unajua kasa hii ile turnover ya players maybe kwa Kenyan clubs unajua inakuwa juu, so sisi identify na mtu fulani, unaona nipende, unapata umepewa ka picha ile yenye inaonyesha huyu ndio goalkeeper Xavi Simons, maybe hata signed autograph as birthday gifts. So wamezunguka kwa primary schools manini. So strangely unauliza mtoto, which club do you support? Asemi Real Madrid, asemi Manchester United, asema RB, because wanajaribu kujaribu kutumia means za kuhook before sasa upate ile experience hata ya stadium. Unaona stadium ni kitu kingine, unaona ile stadium inakogata na stadium visits, the stadium experience. Na stadium si pale watu wana train, unaona kuna training, yani like stadium ni biashara tofauti na hata ya the football itself. It's just another business on its own.
I think umeko Germany for quite a while. What is the experience mtoto kujoin a foundation or the academy before making to the highest level? What are the credentials? Mtoto anahitaji nini? Ama mzazi anahitaji nini ndio mtoto wake akue accepted for?
Okay, the reality is that kama mtoto inafaa uanzie foundation. You are never born good. Si ndio? Kuna vitu kadhaa zenye unakuwa born nazo. Contrary to what think you are born of baller, no.
Okay.
You are born probably with ability, endurance, strength or speed. Hizo ni vitu maybe uko born nazo. But sasa ile practice unaona ile na ile the coaching maybe unaanza kupata. What an academy kama hizo zinafanya kama RB Academy, they scout. They scout from this, of course, the community teams, na shule. But you see, it's not only the club that is scouting. Kuna hata hizo nini zina scout. Kuna hiyo federation zao, for instance, ziko grouped into regions. Sasa kama hiyo ni Saxony region ina scout the best. So your pathway to an RB Academy, I cannot clearly say at in ABCD. Even if you are good, you might not be there. I was watching another game ya RB under 11 wakifungwa na team fulani hapo ya mta. That team ilikuwa inacheza Katanasho. But
at that age
no, you know it's a big game. Umekuja kucheza na RB Leipzig, sasa unataka kuwin.
But Catanaccio ni mbaya. At 11 it's a bit strange. For those who don't know what Catanaccio is, it's Italians had an old system of playing football whereby let me just use Inter Milan ya Ronaldo, so 1998. 9 guys behind the ball. We get the ball, this one guy is our everything. So that's what Catanaccio is.
So strangely what I like that game, goalkeeper wa RB Leipzig alifungwa mabao nyingi juu yake zile overhead 9-11. Juu anasimama hadi kwa center circle, like circle ya center. Amepush juu yani, au ni kuna something they're trying to teach. Ile possession ile. Sasa zile ukiwai, of course they had some very good black guy, the other team mbio wako nayo. Na ata convert. Of course, I understand those kids playing Catanaccio because now that's the chance RB inaweza kuscout. Of course, if you're already in RB, it means now sasa you're probably all expense. So of course it's a scouting na no opportunity ya kunini. But let's not forget they are very big in the Red Bull thing. Just see, they have the Salzburg, New York.
Network yako kwa.
They're big on networks and scouting yao iko continuous, unaona. So I cannot say like ati kuna mtu tu ukizaa mtoto ati uko sure anafaa ingie pale. Kuna vile wewe just do your part, and it's also not necessarily true that ukikuwa RB Leipzig you'll be a pro. Unaona, kwa sababu unaweza kuwa RB Leipzig under 11, unaona. But uta probably fika RB Leipzig under 15 whatever. Unaona, kuna factors kama hizo, unaona. Na hata unaweza kuwa RB Leipzig under 19 but you'll not sign for the first team. So the idea about your way kufika first team, the charge yenye watu wanapenda wanataka kukua Manchester United at 9, it's wrong, no. The actions zenye inafaa ufanye ndio kitu inafaa. Ni kama tu ukipeleka mtoto shule, kuna ule mtu alisomesha mtoto Navakholo primary school na kuna ule alisomesha mtoto Strathmore, not just as an example.
Okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it has guaranteed an engineer from this kid or anyone access.
Yeah.
Just the same, that's the same pathway of football. But let's not forget the fact that a coach is also very influential and a trained coach. Sasa kuna some level of effort as a parent and hata mtoto ya kuweza kuaccess good training, particularly at certain ages. Si guarantees ati itakuweka pro, but it really multiplies your possibilities, especially at certain ages.
So, do you feel like a problem we have nowadays is we have a lot of parents who have what we can call disposable income. They have good jobs, they have money. They're trying to buy the success and fast track it. They're not actually interested with what it takes to get this child to where they need to be. Because if I come to you as a coach, the first thing I show you is my wallet. You as a coach who needs to feed your family, at the end of the day, this is business for you. So if you're looking at my child, whether or not my child can actually play football, you're looking at, hey, this guy, I can tell him we can go to Germany within a year. Can make some money and buy a car. Even if you know deep down, because I believe, personally, I could be wrong, but my personal opinion is the best coaches are the ones who played football. There is a difference between a coach or someone working in football who did not play football and someone who did so and has played football. There are key things. Umeme can look at a child and tell you, even, bro, ujamaa wacha to focus na college or university. But you see, if a coach wants to make money, if a coach has bills he needs to pay, the coach will be thinking, hey, RB Leipzig, I will make it. And you know very well this guy, no. Do you think that is where we are at, so to say? Because we have many academies, so many.
Sadly, of course, also influenced by society and behavior, we are not very having a very honest kind of a process in terms of assurance of possibility. That one I cannot deny that that's it. But I still cannot say that mtoto we should rule out. No. There are multiple factors that contribute. Even for those ones that are cut out, ukisema ni guarantee, you also just you're dishonest. Sababu in England alone, wale wenye wamecheza kwa academies, wale wenye wamekuwa kwa hizo academies in England alone, wako kwa hizo Chelsea, Aston academies nini. Kwanza there is usually sad stories of exit trials. Ni 0.03 ndio wanacheza Premier League. Na mimi nilikuwa captain West Ham under 21. Imagine sijacheza Premier League. Those are the stories ziko. So that can never be ruled out. Football is harder to, okay, I don't want, and sadly I have to say it, so I'll tell people, it's easier to be a doctor than being a footballer.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, it's cut sasa. Now, with in relation to our society, parents spending on having their kids be footballers, I also support. Kwa sababu we also have a lot of those who lose out because of that lack of spending. And football playing, the reality is that you're not supposed to only play football to be a pro. Considering other society issues, the mental wellness, kind of your fitness, and just general, particularly even schooling. If shule inaweza nilipia mtoto college, ama high school,
enough reason to invest in his future.
Me, I'll take it.
Or her future.
So we could use that for that. And football is not a competition with school. Football is a subject in school. So you decide, you'll read mathematics, you'll study in mathematics, English, and not do sport. And probably you might be needing it more. Some of the guys that are playing pro might also tell you they probably were looking at other lines. Not necessarily all of them were intending to be professional footballers. So there are things you do which I agree, and parents and particularly in Kenya, you can also put money in. Particularly, let's say teenage, maybe a gym is 4,000. An instructor will ask you the same amount, so 8. If you don't put that 8 Gs per month, unataka huyu coach wako wa ball mwenye ako na 2 hours na 20 players every evening akukoche strength, you lose it.
It's difficult.
Strength is trained specifically. Speed is trained specifically. You probably need a specialist on that. So you'll tend to think you lost an opportunity because your coach lied. But you didn't do strength. Your coach only focused on team tactics. He didn't do an individual technique thing. Like you probably, there are better trainers. Kuna wale wenye mimi naweza kuambia, there are coaches, particularly grassroots coaches, they can really improve your technique. Unaweza fikiria ati coach Mourinho ndio ataku improve your technique. He's not. Pep doesn't train technique. Pep is a good team tactics coach. So ule technician, you need also to pay him. No. You pay that technician akutrainie technique. You pay that physical guy. You might only need to pay a nutritionist. Akuambie, hey, cheki, we need such. Your son didn't have some iron, whatever. What do? We need to put ourselves on this diet, for probably the next 20 months. But you can't pay for one thing. Unalipa video, afu unalipa air ticket, na you pray to God. Sasa hapo jaribu tukue compounded.
It needs to be
kuna a little bit faster. That's like, if I was a good mathematician in class, I was not going to get to university if I was failing English. So kuna vitu zingine pia lazima ufanye with sports. Na hapo, of course, si kazi yetu, we should try and put out the know-how. Of course, there's the work of the federation, there's the work of government. But see, I also think government know how we are football specific. Just general, they're good with the curriculum is good, the educational curriculum is good. But nataka know-how, sports people. Na unajua meritocracy pia is a problem. Naona kina umesha have exposure, they played ball, amecheza wapi, ana coach. Lakini bado he's not been placed where he'll influence more. The multiply effects will not be felt. Tunapata mimi, I can only influence maybe kids that are coming from South B and within. Yet I have content and exposure that someone from Marsabit needs also. And probably Marsabit can give us that one, and Kibet can give us that Oliech. So we are to end up to Atakosa, maybe because he's trained by, I don't want to call them quacks, but someone who's also learning the game somewhere else. No. So it's a multiply effect, and we should work towards investing in many spheres. And it's also interesting because there's a fun part of it. No. So you can always enjoy while learning the football. Sababu most of the time kids anapenda ball, anaenjoy mtoto teen nini. Professional football ndio sasa fun na kuoga curtailed kidogo na performance. Like you have to follow the lead. Huku chini until at under 20 you can really have the fun. You can have the fun.
Collo, I have a question. I was asked by one of the parents. My son wants to turn professional football, to be a professional footballer, but I want him to continue with his education. So let's say he happens to go to Europe to play professional football. He's 18, 17, 16, So he asked me, what subjects is he going to do when he's there? When I'm here, but he's there. What kind of subject is he supposed to continue with? What can you tell that parent?
I'm glad nimeona the University of Nairobi sahi imeintroduce a coaching course. There are programs, particularly some sporting school abroad. Na kama ICBC wanataka kunda school of sports. I know many parents will be very, very hesitant to admit students to school of sports science. And I'm a coach myself, but I still wait to see your school of CBC vile inakuja upper secondary school vile itakuwa na school of sports science and physical education. Okay, I don't think it's difficult to do things that need a lot of your physicality. Of course, mindset too, your brains too.
Yeah.
Football also needs your brain. That one I will not deny.
Yeah.
But kuna ile muscle memory ya routine yenye inaweza come through the brain, yani vile nini. Kuna what happens particularly I've seen in the UK. What they do, unapata mtu akienda ana specialize kwa sijui ni BTech. Unapata ameanza kulearn coaching at 16. Like pale shule. Wale wenye mostly they are looking at these ones want to be a pro footballer. So anakuwaga na ka fallback plan. Ata coach like a coaching na other careers, but I'll never say separate these careers from what I still think. Kwa sababu I've had the privilege of going to study anatomy, which is sports anatomy. Bro, biology vile nilemea secondary. Like, am I a doctor?
Yeah.
But the teacher insists, you're supposed to know these things. Kwa sababu, how do you know lats? Lats are the muscles here in the back, shoulder, whatever.
Yeah.
Spinal cord, how you should know it to train it. VO2 max. Watu wanasemanga tu VO2 max, ni test VO2 max. Unapata VO2 max ya Eliud when he's resting nini, blood pressure ni nini. Hizo ni sports thing. But it's very academic. Watu wengi hawazijui. But a sports, hiyo ndio unaonanga wale watu wengi, maybe mkiangalia tukio coach TV unaona backroom staff. There are people in those backroom staff probably who loved football. But that's why they were employed there. But yeye ndio anajua VO2 max au hujui. Yeye ndio anajua kutrain is gastronomers. Ndio atapata speed ama jumping power, which is a muscle. Anaweza jua ligaments zile fulani, hata akiangalia ini unasikianga tu kila mtu anasemaga ACL. Lakini hajui kuna a lot of kunaweza kuwa ni meniscus tear, kunaweza kuwa ni LCM, kunaweza hajui lateral. That's very academic, but it's still sport. So hata saa ingine vitu mob tu kwa hii sports ziko tu academic, but we are only being exposed to the artistic side of football on that's the product. We're exposed to the product and want to use the product to decide what sports or football is. There is the process. For you to be a professional, it's the process. The process is your nutrition. When a nutritionist, your kind of your sleeping habits. That's another thing. Unapata mtu is psychology. I can be in football, but a sports psychologist. I can be in football, but maybe a technician, a technical trainer. I can be tactics that and there are people who train. Wale who cheza FM, football manager will tell you tactics pale ziko excessive. So the game has a lot. You should not become a pro. Like kuna kugana hii, don't treat a young kid as a mini adult. Like ashaamua kuwa professional. Like mtoto mgani form 1 ashakuwa daktari ama form 2. Ashafunga ati mimi nishaamua career. Outliers 1 or 2, but generally at that age we are learning everything, so that we start, the graph goes grows slimmer towards the end. So ruling out ati nataka tu kuwa footballer, it's because you are thinking football has the easy part. You've only been exposed to the easy part of the football, but when you are told you're supposed to drink 30 liters today and religiously, you're supposed to eat 6 meals and small portions sometimes. Will you be ready for that? Someone must train you, even your mind and your habits, to know that this is pro. You need to do away with your gadgets, which probably you are used to, so that you
stay focused.
You have a career. A football career also uses your body, because it uses your body in your shield. You can imagine you need to make it be a career, even if you earn 1 million per month. If you earn 1 million for 12 months and quit football, you'll still lack money later. Kwa sababu unajua kushapata 1 million, pia you start having to live like 1 million. Na pia mtu anakupea 1 million expect some other things from you. So how do you sustain to play that game for even 10 to 20 years if you're good at it? So it's not necessarily you want to be a footballer. Yes, want to be a footballer because you have wearing a badge here, Arsenal, and it's over. No, be a footballer who can play na longevity.
So, coach,
Mm.
obviously we've had a lot of, you have Cheza Sports Academy right now. And I'm
Mm.
sure if you trace it or you look back, we've had many foreigners
Mhm.
who came to Kenya and also tried to have academies, tried to take guys out of the country. JMJ, Mwenge, ligi ndogo, tumezisikia.
Mhm.
JMJ, Jean Marie, kuna experience naye. Tell us something about him.
Man, I loved Jean.
Why do you love
That's my
Jean?
lost friend.
Yeah.
Jean Marie
Yeah.
worked with me before he left the country at Cheza. With no pay, for that matter. It tells you someone who loves the game.
Oh.
Jikaze Tarif.
Yani,
Jikakamua.
Potential.
Yeah.
Yani, we were working towards something. Jean Marie, I can credit to some of the improvement attitudes of some of the young players.
Yeah.
Wenye nimekuwa now, in terms of just even changing their thinking. Of course, you know, as with Coach Collo might be saying, but because ni Coach Collo, but if Jean says, it might be, it looks probably very credible. So that factor also helped, at least temporarily, but we didn't work much out. But ideally, football has some people, sorry, I'll say this, but the football has opportunists, just like any profession. And I hear mtaani watu husemaga referees na watu wa matatu are not investors in the game, are beneficiaries of the game. Juu wanalipwa pale kwa kiwanja, they don't miss their money, maybe a top flight, lakini hawaku chini. Unapiga scab county yako, county, regional, div 2. 5Gs yake amekula, ameenda tena kesho amepiga, so weekend anaweza pata iko 10k. Let's speak about matatu. Haupandi bure kuenda kucheza game kutoka Buru mwende mcheze pale West. Unalipa. Coaches unajua saa ingine hata yeye analipwaga last hata allowance, because before player unaona kama ni that is pro player, hata car allowance ya player ijalipwa, bishwa ya coach haiwezi kuwa hata imeguswa kabisa. Inaweza kuwa sasa hii si allowance pia tu, salary pia. So we could speak of agents and agents are supposed to. Kenya is not doesn't have the luxury of a lot of agents.
Yeah, it's true.
Umeshe pia huyo agent alikupeleka ngambo, sijui
alikuwa fishi.
Na tena unajua
fishi.
na unajua pia particularly Nigerians wameharibu hiyo market ya agents.
Yeah, it's true.
No. Because of course hao ni watafutaji
kabisa.
There's some other than hii sijui FIFA license yenye agent anahitaji, it's not enough. An agent needs networks. Na persuasion,
credibility.
Credibility of course, but juu yeye anaenda kuvote for a player somewhere. Sometimes, and you know the world, they even buy slot. One agent gave me a good story. I was trying to be tied to an agent, and he told me, you have to put money in, bro, because
you as the player.
Yes. He told me, we are buying shares in clubs in Scandinavia as agents. So because we are buying shares in clubs in Scandinavia, I want my money back. But you joining the club, once you get to Scandinavia in that club, for me, my chance by being co-owning, because they co-own those clubs.
Yeah, watakusign.
Utasainiwa, they'll make their return of investment in the after sale. So agents, of course, wako wote. And just like hata washamba, my agent washamba pia wako. Just know one thing, how haina guarantees. And one strange thing, agent anaweza piga move moja safi na ndio atumie kupiga watu kanjanja zingine. Kwanza Mungu alipelekaga nani.
It's true.
So agents are a very tricky part.
And
you must be very let me just say people again. So speaking of Gene was a good coach and a very good trainer, and I didn't interact with JMJ as the team much. Of course, I just know friends of mine who might have
Your relationship was with Gene.
yeah, but in the later years of JMJ, when it was not existent then. It was a good product, and it was something that had it sustained, probably they could have a lot, kwa sababu mimi I remember, let me just look and take through wakati nililand Frankfurt kwa app, I was seeing my own things like, where's this place? So I cannot take a player somewhere I don't know.
Was that your first time out of the country?
Yes. I just done the African ones.
The local.
Lakini nikiangalia manze Mwafrika mwingine alinishika hivi, brother, let me help you. Na nibebe hadi mabag kwa sababu you don't know where you're going. So imagine player anataka kuenda Manchester. Anaenda wapi?
Where are you going?
People are moving. All directions. So that's where agents are needed to cover that ground.
It's true.
To ensure like atakuambia tu takufikisha hapa. Your life whatever level, kwa sababu even life in Uganda here is not the same as Kenya.
Yeah, it's true.
You might land in Uganda
kushtuka,
pia wewe unashangaa kwani niko wapi. So we must appreciate there are people to give kind of that pathway. So Gene was opening the Belgian route. And credit to it gave some little bit success.
Ayub Timbe,
Wanyama.
You mentioned sustenance. So I wanted to ask you with regard to sustenance. So because you mentioned sustenance, it means the organization is defunct. What factors do you think led to that? To the collapse of the great JMJ?
Ideally with him, I can understand there was a politic element of it with the federation.
Why?
Of course, Kenya eat the goose that lays the golden eggs. That's how sometimes we are like a good example of Cheza Sports can be doing one or two and probably using just subscription your parents. Like unataka kula subscription your parents without buying footballs or paying for the field. So unajua you will not sustain. Not religion, but you see even the society around you, because flamboyance na nini. Na because hatujaunda hata maybe major facility yenye ni kama unajua ungekuwa na mahali ushajenga, kuna clubhouse already kama ile Wanyama ako nayo ko Nambale Busia. Clubhouse iko hapo, facilities fields ziko hapo, na ni property ya hiyo nini organization hata hata watu wakitoka inaendelea bado, watu watakuwa kids or players or parents will be having synonymous of that place has football, so I'll just be going there. So kuna vile tu kutakuwa na continuity ya footballers coming out, but otherwise bila a place yenye hiyo inakuwa ni kama ni brains are mimi. Hata mimi mwenyewe I might just be me. What I can do more is maybe train people, change people, but I cannot be the route, the road to success alone. No. I have to improve people and create a kind of pathways, but unajua pia kuna kwa gana gatekeeping, so vitu hizo. So I cannot say I know much about the failures, no. But sometimes some of these things I know of Asek Mimosa in Ivory Coast, which you can borrow from. Those are some of those that have continuity, because they are Ivory Coast unapata wanatoka tu Ebu anatoka na nini.
Right to Dream pia.
Right to Dream in Ghana, but Right to Dream is also mostly an big investment from the Danish club or whatever. So that also is a factor. But it's also a it's a high investment activity.
Yeah.
Player continuity, even just training.
Because
It's a high investment.
you see why I'm
business.
asking you these questions.
Mm.
I
Mhm.
feel there's a big problem in football right now.
Mm.
Back then, like when I was playing myself when I was young, you had 3 options: Mwenge, Ligi Ndogo, Ujuzi, JMJ,
Yeah.
4.
Mm.
But back then,
Mm.
it was an honor to make the team.
Mhm.
Depending on the age category you entered at. Me, I was playing under 13. That's the first time I played organized football. Then I
Mm.
went to under 15. Then I transitioned into senior level football. But there's a problem I have nowadays. Nowadays, I feel like it's just pay to play. Back then,
Mm.
even if you came and you paid
Mhm.
to play for, let's say, Mwenge,
Yeah.
but Mwenge had a main team
Mhm.
full of wase wa mtaa na wase wanalipa kutrain. Kumake your team, sio do.
Mm.
It was based on merit. Yes, we can argue, oh, they favored so and so, yes,
Mm.
but it was based on merit. Nowadays, I just come with my child who is, sorry to say this, but borderline obese.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I pay umeme, and the guy plays games, or rather walks around the pitch. I've seen them. I've been to so many academies, South Sea, Nairobi West.
Mhm.
The quality of player that is there, bro, it's not like Kitambo. That's why I feel, you see, JMJ, it had credibility.
Yeah, there's a lot of credibility.
So the disadvantage these setups that have now
Yeah.
is JMJ used resources from abroad.
Mhm.
If I have the luxury
Yeah.
of choosing who I want
Yeah.
with my own money, like this, the coaches will be guaranteed pay.
Yeah.
The staff will kind of be able to be professional.
Yeah.
Si coach mwenye hana hiyo time ya kuchora training plan,
Yeah.
kwa sababu pia mzazi anampigia aendee mtoto wake kumleta.
Yeah.
Unaona?
It's a
So
different thing.
haezi kaa aandike training plan yake ya dream. Credit to the setups back then in terms of bring competitive elements. But I also feel the coach has been put in a situation where he's an administrator. He's also a father. He's a mentor.
Yeah.
And the ROI of that he cannot sustain. So anakunyima quality. Anabidi tu afanye tu bare minimum. The setups that are pay to play can still be converted to eliteness. If, for instance, you have a team, you have maybe a luxury of 20 players
Yeah.
in an under 9 team. Of course, the best ones maybe are in the same team. And probably, being put together.
Yeah.
But again, I also say sometimes our element of competition has also been the reason a lot of players with potential, not performance, dropped out. Potential might be, I have it as the cutout striker.
Okay.
But I'm not probably physically endowed. Physicality is something you can grow. No. But my X factor is not being grown because I'll not make my team win that time. But I could be the reason the national team goes to the World Cup, because I'll make it to the World Cup because I'm given opportunity. So just among many other things other than we having to live with giving parents value for money, because I'm paying. There are things you should offer me. The luxury academy should try to have is denying someone to play is first. It's bad coaching in the onset. Even if it's not good, because now you're not doing coaching. Not giving competition is another challenge again, because if I'm a good player, and I'm not put. Let me try use some coaching language. Player A is at the stabilization phase. Player B is at the preparation phase, and the other player C is at the foundation or starting phase. Speaking of those 3 phases,
yes,
kind of, I'm just at the introduction.
Okay.
There are elements that player A needs Now that's what we should try and separate as academies. Like my son can control the ball now. Now, can he control the ball under pressure? That's what the coach now should try and put. One of it is you must introduce that pressure. You can't put me in a situation where there is no pressure because my others are not tracking or they are just watching me play. So we are making the injustice that we are creating is that when this parent brings you the player who we need to work with to this phase, we still put him in this other phase. But the biggest mistake we are making, particularly in youth setups, is taking care of the team other than the player.
Okay.
I believe in the policy of player first. The player, then the team. At Manchester United, it's the team. At FC Leopards, it's the team. But me at the development is, I know many of those who will drop out in Form 2. That one I'm guaranteed.
Because of also factors you can't explain mtu ameenda chuo Western nini.
But some of those, like I look at some of the kids like in my team who are still playing. They are the ones I should have dropped when they were kids. I look at some of their peers who were supposed to play when we were looking under 9. Oh man, dropped a long time ago. So what if I didn't give this, I didn't keep this boy in the game? Because I'm looking at this boy, wamehama South B, wanaishi mbali, but mama yake amwambia aki mtoto nimulifanyia nini mtoto? Hataki tu kurudi kwenda hata club karibu na yeye, anataka kurudi huko. He was trusted. Yani anasema nilikuwa bonzo na huyu alinichezesha. What if sasa najua? So it's also an element of coaching that needs to be worked on. Because if you don't give opportunity, you also don't earn trust. Because a lot of good players have dropped out of the game because of the few setups that were existing that were very, very competitive. In the model of football, that probably is the Chinese way of doing things and the Asian ways where a good example is like I speak about the Chinese with the table tennis. Chinese table tennis, wakileta their best 100, wana win Olympic number 1 at last.
Wanachukua.
Lakini sasa unajua hawezi kuja wote.
Hiyo ndio shida.
Hata Kenya somehow maybe long distance 42 kilometers or whatever. If Kenya brought in
40 guys.
They might win all number 1 to last. But
you have to take the best.
So how ni all or nothing. In fact hata huko wanakuaga some of the people who are deemed less productive waenda huko kwa milima huko where people don't say you deemed
kabisa.
That is even again is inhuman to an extent. Not seeing potential. So even with modernness of coaching we coaches need to continue to be improved. And kuna improvement yenye nikienda kucheza na Umesh ananichapanga 10. Manze mimi sitataka chana chapwa 10 kila siku. Unajua wazazi wangu wanaparepa zangale. Na watu wamekuwa sana unachapwa sana. Sasa pia mimi nitataka kuimprove. The best way would not be kutafuta player Umesh ni mweke kwa timu yangu sasa nikuwe stronger. No. It would be how do I improve this average one to be good. But for Umesh pia anafaa songe. So the three stages of acquisition stage, yani nakuwa yani siwezi hata control. The perfection, yani naweza control but I need less pressure. Then the perfection, stabilization, huyu ni mzuri. Na tunataka to maintain. Anaekwa hivyo unaona. So it's not necessarily a Kenyan Academy's problem, it's just a general problem hata inasumbua tu kila mahali. So we must always try to see how we improve it rather than juu tukitoa hata wenye wanalipa you want to go for a game, utakuwa na watu wako wa mkuru na hata game because hawana fare. So you must also go fast for you to play. So it's a big balance.
Coach, I have a good question for you. Controversial question, but I want you to be honest because controversy breeds attention. So coach, we have a big problem na the voting process ya football in Kenya. Unaweza buy ma delegate ndio ufungie wasema hali wapedo nini wa vote. I want to know what's your opinion. Juu unajua, I remember when Sonko was being impeached, he took the MCAs, paid the money, hid them somewhere, but those guys were still clever. So they went again and voted against him. So I know a lot of
Delegate.
palituko, kuna frontrunners kwa hii race. Hussein na Mariga ama Nick. Nataka useme, what do you think? Una stand wapi? Juu election do I think inafanywa kesho?
Weekend, yeah. Kesho, yeah.
Na nataka useme, what do you think? Why? And just be honest. Juu na feel, wacha tuongee. Kama hatuna kitu ingine, wacha tuongee, waseme, tujue what you as a private football stakeholder, private, you own your own academy. You don't receive funding from the federation. I want to know what you think, and I want to know where you're at with that in mind.
Good, you said controversial. I'll avoid being particular, specific.
Yeah.
I'm a football coach, I'm a technician. Just like I could be an Arsenal coach, but one day I'll work for Manchester United. That's just, I look at it that way. We are not okay. The reality.
Yeah.
And I'm a fan of change. Always. Even if it's myself, I'm always a fan of changing myself. Sometimes I look at it, you just need to, freshness, just bring something that is different. Because there's a thinking that needs to change, in my opinion. Thinking to an extent of the public thinking. What people know football develop, what people perceive to be football development. What people think is football success. And it has to be influenced even by the federation and even the government.
Yeah.
Then there are elements of meritocracy that are needed in the game. And wanasemanga, it should be beyond reproach, like Caesar's wife, where you should not only be kind of correct or clean, you should appear to be. Sadly, football is not being associated with cleanliness. It's deemed murky, and it brings unnecessary lack of support. Like you need that support, but you're not getting it because we can't be whining when we are not producing.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, because sababu tunataka kufanya kitu, but nikikuja kwa radio station, they believe, nyinyi, we cannot go to a Gor Mahia game because this is this. We should just appear like, you guys are not been there.
Yeah.
You're new. So, we think we can work together. We can make them. So that said, I hope there'll be a change in terms of even personnel. And I don't hope the guys will leave football. Football is not like...
By the guys, you mean politics. The current regime?
The current regime, I hope. Sababu, there other things they change. Because sababu, the situation we were also in before they came.
Yeah.
My goodness.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
That's why even the bar was set so low. Because palitutoka... palitutoka, hapana. Ilikuwa low too low. There's some credit. I know people will feel that they've done some good work. Individually, sometimes hata mimi mtu akuja niambie, sasa umefanya hii cheza, you should now let others bring in ideas. Of course, nitasema, nyinyi mnajua chenye nimefanya. But it's sometimes, it's what people see. If they perceive, like, wamekuwa na mimi naona, like, we cheki, Collo ni kama you have not done much, shouldn't you? And then the system, here delegates. It came after Nyamweni. Sisi kulikuwaga mlolongo kitambo.
Ilikuwa mlolongo the other time, yeah.
Ilikuwanga watu wengi. Na bado pia nayo Nyamwe was never losing that one.
Alikuwa anaweza kama yeye.
Juu kura zitatoka Kisii. Tarakanide. Juu I know we clubs also as a small man delegate huko chini na my two clubs ya wasichana na ya men's. If I would have wanted to decide who the president is, but again pia sasa pia nayo inaamua sasa the real mafia ndio sasa bado ataweza control ule mtu mwenye anaweza fika Marsabit.
Yeah.
Coach Collo maybe mwenyewe hawezi fika Turkana, na Turkana maybe sasa hiyo iko na 300 delegates, anaweza fika Ruka Kamega, ajai fika Kisii, maybe ajai fika Mombasa.
Yeah.
So pia is also all the systems have their challenges. So that's one of those things. What I think our NEC members they could be a change. I still want the delegate system can stay. But there are some other delegates that need to be introduced. Kuna watu wenye I feel are not delegate. People in maybe youth football have not been introduced as delegates. I wanna say, you know. But you see, it's also because Kenyans wanaitanga hiyo grassroots football. Unaona? But you see, there's a difference. At a grassroots football, you can play. No one should tell anyone because you are 40, 50, you should not play football. If you also want to play football, you are a football person. You should play.
Yeah, you should.
So hata mi wanasema hata huku chini nacheza au ni watu wote wana nini. Youth, maybe they have their own thinking. Nasikiaga hata watu wakisema hapana hii county league inafaa ikuwe under 17. But I say feel like huyu jamaa mwenye anataka tu kutoka job.
Yeah,
anapenda tu bola anajitolea.
So mmesema lazima mtu anacheza bola kwa anacheza Gor Mahia ama Mrangasi. Hata mimi ka coach nataka Sunday siku moja pia nicheze.
It's true.
Yani it's wine and so they're also football people. So the political process, I hope there'll be some massive change. But I also devoid of the too much hope.
What do you mean by too much hope?
Because I don't believe it's the only thing we need to change.
Yeah.
The president. I don't believe it's the only thing.
What else do we need to change?
We are here struggling, likely to miss Chan. It might not necessarily be a federation problem. It might be a sports ministry and government problem. We are here also fans fond of maybe the English Premier League. It might be a cultural problem.
Yes.
Yeah. A parent would want to drop a kid to go and watch Arsenal and not watch him play. So it might also be a cultural problem. So even culture needs to change. Rather, it's not necessarily the federation changing, but also habits of people. There's even an interesting statement that Murkomen has said recently about Talanta Hela project. He wants to change it. He says he's dropping the Talanta Hela tournament, which was widely celebrated last year. Yeah. And credited for bringing up players and whatever. But he's saying Kenya Academy of Sports should concentrate on schools and primary schools and secondary schools. I'm also having another controversial opinion. I believe secondary schools are also the biggest problem in football development in this country.
What is that?
They don't train for months. They train them as many adults. They don't know how.
Hiyo story ya mzee kukaa form 4 3 years. Anacheza tu ama
that's part of the problem.
Crazy.
The training methods the player at Gor Mahia are not the same na player of form 1 2 3 4.
Yeah, it's true.
They shouldn't be the same.
Yes, but that's what it is. Now people celebrate wale wanaenda huko kufu nationals. Now we are being forced to unaona jamaa hajakaa shule 4 years. Ndio pekee tuna churn out.
Yeah.
So I don't blame the teachers. It's the know-how. It's the system. So what do we want to do? Encourage and teach more. Try to create awareness to a lot of people in this country, even fans, to appreciate it's a process. Football, unfortunately, ndio a difficult business. Haitaki haraka.
No.
Yani biashara ya football. Yani ukipiga tu shortcut si kama kuunda kufungua duka. Like biashara football ni kama kuuza shamba. You must give it time. You must build time. So inatusumbua because it's a time taking thing. It's not an AB. It's something that you must give it time. So those are factors that I don't want us to think to be changed for the presidency na think those things have changed.
Zitakuwa tu zile zile.
Zinaweza baki zingine zile zile. Sababu I'll not go to a stadium when I used to pay okay, if the Euros ticket is 400 euros, close mathematics, unaona hapo tuko ka 60k hapo, sio kama.
Yeah, you're right.
Na ticket ya FC Leopards na Gor Mahia ni
So tano.
so tatu. Ball imekuwa hapa na basketball. Walisema ticket ilikuwa tao. Sindio?
Yeah, the other day,
rugby pale RFU na 500 bob. Now we want to compare huyu mwenye anaingia ticket watu 70,000 wamelipa 400 na wengine more 700 euros. A women's game RB pale ilikuwaga 20 euros na imekuja na crowd yenye naonanga hapa Goimza FC na Gor. Economically huyu player hatapata hiyo pesa, huyu coach hatapata hiyo pesa. So look, are we going to change next year hata hizi ticket? Jumi nikienda basketball ama okay, not really maybe ball. Mimi nikienda rugby pale review, mimi nitatoa hiyo punch yangu na mtu kama maybe because maybe hiyo ni game naenda na company. What are the other things that I want to get in that feeling? Ni maybe siko very hooked to the rugby peke. Niko nataka tu kuangalia pia watu, nataka kuangalia
just on the experience.
The experience, no. So nikilipa hiyo 500 bana nasema si skiba, lakini mtu akilipa 500 game ya Gor Mahia anaona ni kama
amejipeana hapa.
So is that going to change? Not necessarily. But what do we have control of? What if the quality of that footballer at Kenya Premier League, they're playing fast passes at speed, they're playing the dribbles, it might change. Now this guy will feel like, hey, wale watu wanacheza poa, we should pay for it. But how does that happen? Ni umesh na 7-year-old pale, ni nani na 10-year-old pale, ni nani na 11-year-old pale, ni coach ule ako juu pale, si coach ati, unajua watu wanaitanga coach. Coach Collo. Sasa coach Collo akuja apange conch. Hiyo ni hiyo session ya Sansi coach Collo bado ameifanya. Ya warm ups nini. Coach Collo amefanya main part hiyo drill. Coach Collo amefanya tactics. Coach Collo tena ana release ma player. Coach Collo amewapea pep talk. Coach Collo anafaa ndio kwa nyumba angalie maybe video camera, angalie nini ilikuwa happen. Coach Collo aende angalie what if kama uko na zile maybe machine zile gadgets kidogo kama nini vest.
Hiyo vest
angalie how na quality, I'm meaning like hata Kenyan Premier League like
you can't
how will he get the quality? Sababu unapata Umesh is just a good striker, but probably he's never been taught where to run through to show his best.
Umesh has never even seen footage of himself.
So those are things zenye tunafaa tufanye sana na ni mingi na ni general. The pillars of football, the economic pillar, the social pillar of like chess sport should be financial, engaging people, then the economic pillar nini na the technical pillar. No. So we can't take one and ignore another. So generally tunataka hivyo. Credit to the federation. Sahi kitu walijaribu na sahi you meet someone proudly telling you I'm a CAF D coach. So ninasemaga in future hakuna mtu ana coach mtu uko na CAF. Si kitambo kila msee alikuwa anaitwa coach.
Ana credentials.
Sasa sahi at least. Sasa itakuwa easy sahi kuanza ile yenye you coaches must be licensed. You must pay your 500 bob so that ukikuwa na ka issue we suspend you. Tutaweza kutrack we can nini so tutaendelea hivyo.
So at least
so
wamejaribu hiyo.
5 years later nini to persist hapo so that the license ni coach anakuwa at least na bare license. What I can encourage that the content and the trainers be improved because they're doing the content has always been improved, I'm seeing, but now trainers also need to grow pole na nini. So sometimes hata na hope mtu atafanya CAF D in 2030 itakuwa CAF D stronger.
Okay, sorry Papa, niko na issue kidogo in terms of our coaching industry. I've been around with these so-called elite coaches of Kenya. I will not be ashamed to say them. Because nimekuwa nikiwacheki vizuri, unapata vile wanasema mtu ni head coach. Wewe ni head coach, wewe ndo head coach. Unapanga warm up session. Unapanga sijui strength and condition. Unapanga sijui nini. Umeme iko hapo, umeme ni assistant coach wako. Umeme I cannot do these things because wewe uko hapo unataka kupanga kila kitu. So what is the work of the head coach? What is the work of the assistant coach? Kama head coach anapanga warm up, huyu assistant coach mesha anadu. Unaona, because enough thing tukishatoka pale kwa room, tushapanga session. So this is what you're going to do. Mesh unapanga nini? You take that one, technical. Alafu the main coach anakuja anapanga tactical. But in Kenya it's different. Who coach ndo anapanga kila kitu. Yeye ndo anapanga atachora mpaka vile nini itakuwa nini. Unashanga form ni gani? That is my question number 1. My question number 2. What is the work? What is the work of a technical director? Kenya mimi na technical director. Mtu technical director bado ndo coach. So where do the head coach fall? Where does the head coach fall? When you technical director, papa mshukuru kama technical director team fulani mahali. This guy used to be a coach. Now ile team imchukua kama technical director. He's going there as a technical director stroke coach. What about that coach who was there? So what is the work of the technical director?
Yeah, napenda hiyo. The good thing is wali unasema.
Yes.
Hata kwa coaching classes.
Yeah.
CAF B, it usually even takes a day discussion to your
Yeah, discussion.
It's a good one. My thinking has been kuna okay, I want to start the hard way. Nisiseme ile nilitaka kusema, nasema know how.
Yeah, know how, yeah.
Sasa ingine hata mimi nikikuwa assistant, mimi personally, I believe my assistant should be better than me. Sababu mimi ndio I should take pressure.
Yeah.
If I'm taking a controversial decision as the head coach, I should take the pressure. I should take the cut.
Yeah.
My assistant coach should be telling me that hard decision, lakini mimi nichukue pressure. Jo mimi ndio nini, lakini yeye ndio ameni.
Okay.
Amefanya. So of course, other than football, there are social ways of even working together.
Yeah.
But unasema elite coaches. Now me story, I tried sometimes with my under 23 teams. Under 23 team. Nikasema makocha wote tu academy sasa to share roles. Naambia huyu ni mwenye nimesema sasa alikuwa head coach wetu. Wengine wanasema sina nini head coach. Hawa ni makocha hata si wa nini elite.
Yeah.
But hao bado pia wako na ile belief. Head coach bana anafaa afanye kila kitu. Ama tupange. Nani hao nawaambia cheki. Sasa si tusaidiane. Nini. Hata tunaunda combined huko South B combined team.
Yeah.
Nimeona hiyo challenge. Juu watu wana-argue mbona mnapea watoto wadogo head coach ati wa team hiyo South B combined juu some coaches came to a meeting wakasema some young of that guys okwe head coach already. And I was like nini, of course fine, maybe we want to build them for that matter. So even culturally we have not been exposed and known how to work together. So people like kind of seeing there's a coach alituambia mzungu some coaching license ya Americans niliattend. Alikuwa anatuambia you guys love each other as coaches. I'm seeing your energy in this class. Mnapendana sana. Mna celebrate mtu. But you don't respect each other.
Yeah.
So anaangalia papa hapa huyu nani? Cheza wapi?
Good. Yeah.
Sasa yeye akiwa head coach unaona. Mimi
it's true.
Nampenda lakini simtambui. So unaona hata kuanga ni kama but it also comes with the level of academia in
yeah.
Sometimes coaching sorry, unfortunately from the modern days, hata the schooling hata kitambo kulikuwa na stereotypes with football. Wewe kama umecheza ball sana shule huko utotoni, you were to fight challenges za wewe ndio ucheze ball. So hizo stereotypes also attracted only people when they were for it, no? Or parents waliwacha, like kama usomi, the ones also playing football. We see they also the same ones who became coaches or became people because they retired when they were not sure time career performance imerudi, they became coaches. Akikuwa coach anapewa timu yenye alichezea nini so haja nini, so unapata hata yeye hana other exposure. Like how many coaches have had a corporate experience working in a corporate environment where huyu ni wakufanya hii, huyu ni wakufanya hii. They never had that in their lives. Maybe the younger coaches hapa or people up coming up, they'll have the luxury ya work up or maybe in an institution, a football which is an institution, like you even grow in ranks. You are in an under 7 coach, you move to under 15, nini 13, 17. As you move, sasa ukijua hivyo ranks, usually appreciate ranks ni zinakamaje. TD akona kazi mob. TD ndio ana work on sustainability, as you had earlier said. TD ndio anafaa maintain how will the name of this club and the identity. Watu wa branding wanafanyanga vitu kadhaa juu hata mimi na branding. Ukiona hata font yenye maybe inatoka kwa hata serikali, wanakuambia I was working at Kenya National Bureau of Statistics sometimes. Wanakuambia ni Footlight. So sometimes you associate Footlight with Kenya National Bureau of Statistics. You associate green with Safaricom. So TD anataka kuleta hiyo. Naona ile vile inacheza. Hata sitaki kuona jazi. Ile ni Arsenal inacheza, which Ateta is not doing anyway. Ateta ameunda yake mpya. But what people used to associate Arsenal with, that's the TD's work. What people associate cheza with, TD ndio ana maintain. Anajaribu kuhold, like hata TD anafaa saidi hata ama assistant coach to know what their part is in sustaining. Juu some good clubs in Kenya like Gor, see, a friend of mine alikuwa assistant coach wa these are the previous amekuwa kwa technical bench ya Gor Mahia. Bado yuko coach amelive nani ameenda national team Gambia, alikuwa anaitwa nani,
the white guy.
I don't know what his name. Yeah, so unapatana niambia because tulikuwa na KFB was my desk mate. Aniambia Collo, let me tell you, this man, this coach who left, my last season was like a master's program. Vitu nimelearn. So now that's head coach. Head coach ni wanaitanga ile a spring of life. Yani akona knowledge, akona kitu la sasa sisi tunakalimate kwake. Sasa unaona kama huyo head coach amefanya au assistant nini watu wamejiimprove, like wamelearn vitu zenye walikuwa juu unashangaa kwa nini
elevate
standard. So tukikuwa na some element of that pia na sasa unaona hizi crises zinakuja na not proper scouting of the technicians.
Sini mradi tu Umesha alikuwa pale class na wewe tu vile unasema Umesha naitwa pale Gora na kuwa assistant coach, wanasema we need a technical director. Collo salary ya TD ni ngapi? 100. Collo atachukua mbao.
Story kuisha.
Kwa job.
So hiyo meritocracy pia
inafaika
is also the biggest problem. Sababu ukileta msako fine. Pia ata bring something on the table. Atajua coaching is not only standing in the touchline.
Which Collo, you remember I was telling you out here, the problem with us Africans, we are very scared to ask or demand. Our self-worth is very low. We are willing to take we are willing to work on other people's terms, and that's why nothing changes. That's why we don't improve the standard or even an organization where we've been hired. Because if they pay me the same amount, Umesh was doing the head coaching at 40K, I come in at 40K, I'll give the same as Umesh. But if I come in at 200,000-300,000, I'll change it. I'll elevate, take us to the next level because I'll give effort, I'll give my best because I've demanded my best and they've met. But here in Kenya, I once had a story of a coach going for an interview. He asked for 50,000 bob. The guy they only took him instead of this guy of 50K because he was willing to do the work at 30K. That team finished 4 positions before. You see where it was? Before he took the job, they finished 4 positions lower. So mina feel manze, there's a lot. Coach Collo, mina nataka wale watoi wao cheza sports manze wa coach because na feel one thing that is different or that I think uko nayo that not a lot of people have. You're an independent thinker. I like guys who think for themselves, not guys who think they give answers that make me and umeme happy. So ningeadvise wase walete watoi wao wale wenye wako close na area una coach. Leta watoi cheza sports manze. At least if nothing else, they'll get an education. They'll get someone who is more interested in
improve. Yeah. You mentioned about self-worth. I know some of my friends, even though parents who refer kids, afu nawambia deal na administrator, I'm the bad one. Naambia hapana, mimi nimleta tu endo nini. Alafu anakuja analalamikia. Uliambia huyo mtu kuenroll alipe 16,000 na kama si 16,000 haingii. Namwambia mimi kwangu nimesema ni 60. Unataka kulipa polepole, lipa polepole, lakini utaingia siku ile umemaliza. Niko na maringo. Hiyo club sijaenda ni. Huyo mtu anaringa hataki pesa. Football in Kenya particularly jiloa kidogo. But again hata wenye wajajiloa wameexploit. Prize. Just because okay, I have to give reason, I have to validate. Mimi huambia mtu like, and I've a guy who does for me branding. Nimejifunza sana kwake hizo vitu. Sometimes it's a friend of mine aliniundia website nini. Hata saa hii kwa ball alifanya aliani utachipuka. Yeye uniambianga kazi yenye ananifanyia kama design. Kama hataki kufanya ananiambianga sitafanya, nitambembeleza. Hii sitafanya. Sitaki. Mpaka I own, mpaka atake. Akiagree na wewe kazi kubwa, hata utashangaa bei yake. Kwambia wacha nifanye uniambie. Mimi naangalia mtu naangalia. Sasa nikakuja baadaye nikali. Naangalia design yenye huyu jamaa alifanya in 2015. Na naiangalia saa hii. It's just still standing out. So anafanya kitu na roho. Like mimi hata mimi huambia mtoto mzazi unaweza ingia bure hapa. But nikupe conditions zenye nataka uingie bure nazo. Alafu mtu anaanza kamba. First, prove to me you can't afford. Number 2, prove to me the player has an X factor. Yenye haina sina hapa. I'll take the responsibility. So ingia bure. Because huwezi afford. X factor. Now we will work with you. You want us to work. Nikikuambia tunaenda nini? Tutaenda. Si utaniambia nilikuwa na so hiyo natusumbua. I know I have challenges here and there because unapata it's not something your beliefs are not necessarily what people you work with or maybe what I believe, but slowly ile una multiply effect, unaona. I was telling a coach of mine sometimes nilimwambia awache job because lakini reason nilimwambia awache job ni alikuwa nimempea ka responsibility na akasema ule mtu alimess so sikufanya. Ambia ni wewe nilipea. Kama ufanyi usirudi. Naona. Just handle your shit. So unaona unapata vitu kama hizo zinatusumbua sana. But it's also because we've not yet made it a profession. As some coach Dexter pia husema like be proud to be a
Of what you
coach.
do.
Unaona? Na ni poa watu wanalalamika publicly of course, CAF B ni expensive, CAF A ni 120k. Mimi ile 60k nililipa CAF B or ile 60k naenda maybe kulipa kwa ikosi ya UN. Si wakati nilikuwa nafanya degree yangu pale pia nililipa. I'm still paying my help. So ndio maana watu wanatoka kwa wanasema bana mimi nimesoma medicine 5 years ba. So what do you want to pay me nini? So unaona acha footballers wacha hata tulipe hizo courses so that we believe like because tulilipa yani inatufeki because tulilipa we also need to earn from it no? So that self-worth inaanza kukua inbuilt. But my thinking is that football has also been associated with freebies in the country where we are also waiting for government. I believe football, for it to succeed now, it has to go private. Kenya has proven to be a country of private. Nyinyi hapa hii studio or listen, you are covering up, you're doing a sports forum. Mainstream media natupeanga 1 minute for the last 10 years. We want people to leave their mainstream media. Watafuta sports content wanatafuta hapa, watafute kwa TEA, watafute online. Waachane na hiyo tukingoja news ya saa 3 hiyo saa 2 yenye itatupea Manchester ilifungwa na Arsenal kona 2 imeisha. Haijui under 17 national team is in camp. Hawajui wanafaa waende Uganda. So like this. So this is sababu. Sasa hizi ndio vitu tunataka na lazima tujenge industry pamoja. Huyu wa media anasukuma industry like I like papa na ni challenge some of the things and I expect najua hata umse nikienda hapa nikimwambia akuja angalie ataniambia bro bana wewe ni mdomo tu what is this so what is that ni challenge pia unaona like ukienda kwa hospitali mimi nasema imagine wewe ni mzazi wewe ni coach client wako ni surgeon ule mwenye you entrust him kwa hii table na hati na mwili kufungua. Sasa wewe amekuletea mtoto imagine upige mediocre na yeye akipiga mediocre ni death. Wewe you walk away with mediocrity, but we should also know even your bad coaching can lead to it can just be an illegality, just like the doctor not knowing what he's doing with the patient on a surgery table. Lazima pia sisi tujue our staff tena proper naona mpaka tujue tunangane na somehow I'll urge coaches CAF B bana is not enough. CAF is not enough.
It's not enough.
Tujaribu to expand territory na kitu tunaweza fanya more ni learning from each other and challenging each other. Like you can question my session, see ati unanichukia. You're telling me no, your session, your load density was not okay. Tempo ilienda, uli warm up, ukashukisha tempo tena. Ni jenge, ni
tuambiane tu kweli.
There's also psychology. Tumia sandwich method. Ndio ni coach mpoa Collo, lakini hii session unafanya hivi. Si uniambie nawe Collo hata ujuangi bwana. Nafanya nini hapa?
Guys, thanks for manze coach Collo. See you niseme nini lakini manze asante wase, thanks for supporting the show. Na msukume video ndo nilete Collo hata part 2. Hakuna haja tulete Collo hapa manze tuwape maoni hivi alafu hakuna msana watch. Coach Collo asante.
Shukran. Wase ball ni medicine. It's not as easy as you look at it, but it's not as hard. It's also fun. Na watu wote mnajua ball, watu wote wanajua ball. Everyone knows football. So the level with which you can know it ndio tunafaa tusukumi.
Asante wase. Thank you.